I'm Anastasia Wheeler, and we are with Soundscaping Source and Show Me Hope. In today's video, we are going to be doing a lyric analysis on the Garden Song.
Lyric analysis is a way of kind of diving into a song and the lyrics and finding the deeper meaning and how it relates to your own life. So that's what we're going to be doing today, looking at two different points. The Garden Song was written by David Mallet, and he wrote this song in his early 20s. The song just popped into his head when he was working in the garden with his dad, and this tune forever changed his life and helped him get into a career of music. This song was performed by Peter, Paul, and Mary, John Denver, and even the Muppets. So we're going to look at this song. Hope you like it.
All right, and we'll share the lyrics so you all can see what we're looking at here.
So I'm just going to read the first little stanza or paragraph so we can see what these lyrics mean. Inch by inch, row by row, I'm going to make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. So, Anastasia, what did you get from that first part of the song?
So from that first part of the song, especially inch by inch, row by row, it feels like they say, I'm going to make this garden grow. It sounds like they're setting an intention and a goal that they're possibly going to be working towards in the future. What did you think of that line?
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way. Having a dream or a goal, or even looking at your whole life like a garden. And we have to take baby steps to accomplish a goal. It's good for us to look at daily goals, attainable goals, small steps. So we're able to accomplish that greater goal. So maybe in your life right now, you have something you've always been wanting to accomplish, whether it's been trying to lead a healthier life or trying to spend more time with a person, trying to get more organized. It could be things big or small, but maybe think about a goal in your life that you would like to accomplish and how this song can relate to it. And another thing that I thought about that line too was the phrase slow and steady wins the race.
Yes.
Like the little things add up to really make a difference in the end.
Yeah, and that really relates to the next line. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. And that is kind of like identifying the things that you will need to achieve that goal. So, what are the things that you will need that's like far as support from other people or the things that you need to do to set yourself up for that success?
Absolutely. And relating it back to that first line, I'm going to make the garden grow. You have to be the first person to decide to make something happen. And then really you only need a few things. I was thinking about the importance of determination, the importance of hope, like the things that aren't necessarily physical, but really make a difference in making a dream happen, making a goal happen. Anastasia, I was wondering, what do you think of the meaning of a piece of fertile ground?
Oh, well, it's kind of like you'll you kind of have to like thrive where you're planted, and sometimes where we're planted might not be our ideal place, so we have to really nourish what where our environment is. So you might need to give yourself a little bit extra like self-care if you're not quite in the space that you need to be to create that fertile ground, or to really take time to notice where you're at, to see what kind of ground you're in to best facilitate that, step forward. Because if we're not at that base level of, we've got the three main things, right? The rake, the hoe, and the ground. And so we need to make sure we have all the tools at a baseline before we can really make that step forward.
Exactly. I kind of thought about self care as well. Um, if we're the thing that's making the garden grow, the dream happen. Um, what do we need to be our best selves so we can really make that happen? So for me, in self-care, rest is really important for me. Exercise is really important for me. Um, so if you haven't taken the opportunity to really kind of think about when you feel your best self, I encourage you to think about that and think about making those self-care things happen so you can accomplish your goal.
Right. Making note of the times where you feel fulfilled and nourished in all aspects of your life. Absolutely. I like this next line. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. So we put our intentions out, but we also need a community around us to help give towards that positivity or give towards that goal we're reaching towards ourselves. Sometimes we can't do it all by ourselves. Even though we do need to be the first ones to initiate it, we also need our community to kind of gather around us and lift us up in a way.
Absolutely. It takes a village to make things happen. And also, having the seeds warmed and the rain come tumbling down. Like you said, the things that are outside of our power, and sometimes it's time and waiting and just waiting for the circumstances to be perfect for that goal to kind of take root. No pun intended.
I'll read our next stanza here. So, pulling weeds and picking stones, we are made of dreams and bones. I feel the need to grow my own, 'cause the time is close at hand. Grain for grain, sun and rain, I'll find my way in nature's chain. I tune my body and my brain to the music of the land. And as a musician, I really like that last line. So that first line, pulling weeds and picking stones, what do you think of that one, Emily?
I think that's the dirty work. Those aren't very fun parts of gardening to me anyway. Pulling weeds really hurts your back. It's kind of brutal work, but it's necessary. We have to have a good environment for things to grow, do everything we can to kind of protect them. So, in your own life, with your own goals and dreams, going back to that everyday maintenance of yourself, putting the work in every day, even when it's hard, even when the sun's beating down on you, and just really cultivating that good space will really pay off.
Yeah, I think of like the weeds and stones as those things that kind of creep in, like maybe even like moments of self doubt or like kind of like negative self talk. Those are kind of like weeds in your garden, especially if one of your self care goals is like to maybe not do that or to grow and be more gentle with yourself. Those are the weeds and the stones that you might be picking. And I like the next one. We are made of dreams and bones. It's kind of like we're all human and we have aspirations. Like we're made of dreams, but we're also human.
Exactly. And we're also, as humans, more than just our bodies. We have souls, we have connection to other people, to music, to the things around us that really um, make us grow alive, really make us humans together. So that's kind of a cool point to note.
I feel the need to grow my own because the time is close at hand. What did you think of this line, Emily?
That line, I really thought about the phrase live in the moment. We can't take every moment for granted. And kind of the protagonist in this song, it seems that he's noticing, um, life's not forever. Like it says, the time is close at hand. And so I really want to grow the garden, make my mark on the world, have a sense of purpose that's kind of bigger than myself.
Yeah, I think about like the planting time in spring, how you have a window of time, an opportunity of and sometimes opportunities only come once in a while or maybe it's a multiple recurring one, but like that time constraint of being human is what it made me think of and feeling that drive and that sense of urgency that comes with knowing that it's finite, but it's a good
I think,
opportunity.
yeah, and especially in the last year, I think a lot of people have felt that through the pandemic.
Mhm.
since our world has kind of stopped, really don't take things for granted. Don't take the people you love and normally see for granted. So I hope that you have been able to reflect on that time and the things that are most important to you, and maybe think about making a change, so that you can be intentional with those things, especially now.
Yeah, and it's good to note that it's okay if you weren't productive or achieved a lot of goals during the pandemic. Surviving a pandemic is definitely a challenge in its own right, and it's okay to reassess things and figure out what you would like to do in the future and really be intentional going forward.
Grain for grain.
Sun and rain, I'll find my way in nature's chain. It's just a cute, it would be a good poem on its own, wouldn't it? That line.
It would. And that line, the the sun and rain, the differences between those two words really made me think about the good times and the bad times that happen. They're all out of our control, but they both play a part in the garden growing, and our lives and the people that we become. Oftentimes, the good times are really good and the hard times are hard, but they make us stronger, or sometimes they really help us develop into the people that we're meant to be. They really influence our experiences and how we react to things. So the next part, finding our way in nature's chain, finding the people that you relate to, how how you find your community, and how you kind of think about how you fit into the world, how your goals and your purpose really works, what really um, makes your mind light up, makes your heart, the spark in your heart. What are you passionate about? That's what that line kind of made me think of.
Yeah, it definitely, like the whole grain, sun and rain in the chain of nature. It's kind of like where's your role in the grand scheme of things? Like how do you feel like you play a part in that cycle?
It all works together.
Absolutely. Especially with this next nut line, I tune my body and my brain to the music of the land. I kind of thought it meant like finding balance and harmony in what you do, and going with things. Like when things kind of change and kind of sweep along, instead of fighting upstream, kind of go with it and see where you grow and you adapt and change and see how it will play out.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that, and especially um, thinking about how important being outdoors is for a lot of people's well-being and mental health, and then what a huge role music plays in our culture, for some people's spirituality. So tuning your body and your brain, um, tuning with instruments, they it's kind of the way of realigning. So when we're not feeling our best, we can go back to the things that we know, again, that self-care, music, and kind of go back to our baseline. Yeah.
Love that.
All right, on to our last little stanza here. So plant your rows straight and long, temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth can keep you strong if you give her love and care. Now, an old crow watching hungrily from his perch in yonder tree, in my garden I'm as free as that feathered beef up there. What'd you think, Anastasia?
For this one, that first line, if you it's kind of like if you maintain your focus and your intent and keep your end goal in mind, you can get through to what you're reaching for, and temper them with prayer and song. So engaging in those things that refuel you, that give you joy, that bring you motivation or comfort, can really help you maintain that trajectory for longer. Kind of how I thought.
Absolutely.
What about you, Emily?
Yeah, I had a lot of the same thoughts. I kind of dove a little bit deeper into the word temper. Has several meanings, but one of the ways that it's used is with metal. So it's often to make it harder and stronger. So tempering, making something like it's talking about, the plants, but helping yourself, like you said, be stronger, be more resilient maybe in this circumstance. With prayer and song, again, spirituality and music are really huge things for who we are as people. Like we said before, like we're not just bodies, but um, these are crucial parts of humanness and how we connect to things that are bigger than ourselves. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And then of course we say, oh, you should sing to your plants. So maybe he was thinking about that too, and he was writing this. I don't know, but I would say that that music piece is definitely important to me
Yeah.
and helping me be resilient and relating to lyrics and musicians and all that good stuff.
Also, it's kind of like hoping that what you're, you know, building will result in something good, having hope.
Absolutely.
Future.
Hmm. Yeah. All right. That next line about Mother Earth, what do you think?
Oh, it's kind of like what you give outwardly into the community and what your intent is and how you're going towards your goal is also a little bit of how you might be received out in the world as well. So there's that balance of if you help and lift up others, they can help lift you up as well. So like if mother, and that's also with nature too, right? If you take care of nature and nature will take care of you, kind of that you get what you give kind of thing. Of course, that's not always the case, but the intent can be behind it, right?
Sure.
Kind of what
Yeah.
I did with that one. What about you, Emily?
I thought about it a little bit more literally. So, like, the earth gives us food that makes us strong and sustains us. And we have to really care for our planet, recycling and all of those things. It also makes you feel good to, you know, be green. And even, growing a garden feels great. But that's always good. A little loving on the earth.
Yeah, getting involved in nature and going outside again. That's at least for me. That's one of my main self care things is going outside. So hopefully it's around well, and well nourished outside, so it can nourish me
Yes.
and other folks. It's not just about me.
I agree.
Now this line,
Yeah.
this one kind of threw me for a loop because I wasn't quite sure how to take it. I was thinking of I know it's a crow, but when I'm outside, I'm always looking at the squirrels. So thinking about how nature is there and it's watching you, but also it could also be like other people kind of watching what you're doing and maybe finding inspiration in what you're doing. So maybe we can inspire others to reach towards their goals if we're reaching towards ours. I don't know. In this, the word hungrily kind of makes me think that the crow might be a little envious, though, of what they're doing, but that's okay.
Yeah. So I kind of thought about it with the two lines together. So I thought of the crow kind of as fear or the things that can creep in, whether it be I'm embracing this moment and finding joy in this moment, the person in the garden loving what they're doing, and you see a crow and start to kind of worry about, oh, is that crow going to destroy my garden and eat it, or what could happen? Like, the fear can really creep in easily in our lives, especially when we have been through this global pandemic. Things change so quickly. However, that person sees the crow and still feels free, even though the thief is up there. And that makes me think about one of my favorite authors, Brene Brown. She talks a lot about shame, and she introduces this topic of scarcity and sufficiency. And with scarcity, it's like we don't let ourselves enjoy the moment. We don't embrace the joy and the gratitude because we're worried about what could happen. And most of the time, a lot of those worries and fears don't actually end up happening. But it's almost like we don't want to hold on to that good moment um, because of that fear. We think that if we don't embrace the joy, we'll feel less pain, and that's actually not true. We want to embrace the joy in the moment because that joy and gratitude will help us get through the harder times and be more resilient. So instead of the scarcity, we focus on the sufficiency. So right now, this is what I have. Um, and practicing that joy or gratitude. So writing down, I'm grateful for these things right now, verbalizing it, talking about it with someone else, but getting it outside of your head is a really great thing to do, because your body's kind of recognizing it. And then you can hold on to that, whether that be a list that you post somewhere. And a lot of people talk about, the act of like, oh, write down the things you're grateful for. And it might seem a little bit silly almost, but it really does make a huge difference with that mindset. So if you do practice that joy and gratitude in the moment, you'll be able to be like the person in the garden, feeling free, feeling in the moment, and able to accomplish those goals. So, yeah, I hope this little exercise was helpful for you all. Um, Lyric analysis is a great thing to do with any song, really, but particularly those songs that are really meaningful for you. Sitting down and really looking at the lyrics line by line. There's often a lot more that we kind of skip over with just hearing it. I'm a really visual person, so it helps me to see the words, and sometimes I'll even print it out and write things out. And then it makes the song even more meaningful when we go back and listen to it. So we will attach a link to the song below that you can listen to the version, since we didn't actually sing it. And we hope that you can reflect on this song and what it means in your life right now.